Welcome, everyone. It's nice to be here with all of you. Let's begin our session today with a few breaths together. If you can, just let yourself settle into your seat. Be comfortable, however that looks for you, and try to relax if that's accessible. If you feel comfortable enough, please close your eyes for a moment as we breathe together. Notice what it feels like to close your eyes and check in. Take a few deep breaths down to your belly. And as you breathe, allow your body to soften in parts where you might be feeling any obvious areas of tension. Perhaps the lower back, the neck, the shoulders. Maybe there's some tension behind your eyes from looking at the screen for too long. Maybe there's tightness in your stomach. Let your belly soften. Breathing, and with each out breath, if you can, let your spine be long so that you can stay alert through our time together. And for these next few moments, please feel your breathing in your body. Notice the sensations of breathing as you breathe in and out. The rising and the falling of the belly. The expansion and the relaxation of the chest. And as you breathe, notice your body breathing. I invite you to check into your mind. How's your mind right now? How's your heart? There's no right or wrong answer here. You might also just notice the embodied feeling, not necessarily giving it any label. Just notice, how am I feeling right now? How's my mind? Good. And when you're ready, I invite you to take another deep breath, fill up your body. And as you breathe out, you can give yourself a nice stretch wherever you might need it right now, maybe your neck, your shoulders. Open up the chest. Move your body in a way that feels good. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We're going to talk about being truly happy. Last week, we talked about emotions and being able to self-regulate through all of these emotions that we feel. So today is about how do we really find happiness, true happiness, and then the practices in which we can cultivate them. So the questions that we're going to ask each other in these breakout rooms is, are you having a good day? That's the first question. So that's what you will answer. So the person with the longest hair will answer whether they're having a good day. The second question is, why are you having a good day or a bad day? So there's no right or wrong answer. You don't have to have a good day if that's not what you're having. And the third is, do you want to have a good day tomorrow or the next day or next week? All right. Well, okay. So I'm going to be switching back again to this particular question. Okay, and I would love to see in the chat box why you're having a good day or a bad day, and just something brief, maybe a few words, 1 or 2 words, uh, maybe one sentence. Why are you having a good or bad day? And happy birthday, Meng. Yay. That's a good day. So Nessie says the difference between a good day and a bad day is your attitude. So if you can put in the chat box, why are you having a good day? Or maybe not so good day. A lot of learning today, good health. Anyone else want to share? Because I chose to. Yes, I was able to be vulnerable. Bad day, not feeling well. Good day, it's happy to see new faces and the seasoned LFs, meeting new people. Good day, today's training agenda resonated with me so much. A lot of learning today. And because I chose to have a good day, plus the internet connection is back. Bad day. Personal issues. Bad day, nahirapan sa travel sa Makati. Blessed with work. Good or bad day, it's always the experience. Good day, feeling motivated. So thank you, everybody, for that. And if you want to, you can continue to share what the reason is for why you're having a good or a bad day today. So going back again to last week's teaching about emotions and self-regulation, we touched on internal and external experience. So oftentimes our happiness depends upon the external conditions of our lives. So the internet isn't working, it's a bad day. Traffic is so bad, it's a bad day. It's my birthday, it's a good day, and maybe not so good. Depends on what's happening, right? And then there's also, wow, my partner gave me a dozen roses. It's such a good day today. I'm so happy. So you will notice that it's the circumstances, the conditions that are outside, that are surrounding us, our environment, and what's happening in our lives that often dictate how we're feeling. Again, with this internal and external experience, what we need to do is to stop looking outside of ourselves for happiness. Because often what we do is we blame other people and circumstances. So what we need to do is to stop blaming, and we also need to create the conditions within ourselves to make us happy. So that source of peace we can cultivate from inside ourselves, in our minds and our hearts. So science says that happier people are more successful, more productive, they're kinder, they're altruistic, physically healthier, and mentally stronger. Studies show that they have better relationships. So some of the benefits of being happy is that, of course, we're healthier when we're happy. Happy people have better physical health and report fewer unpleasant symptoms. And they also visit the emergency room and the hospitals and doctors less. And then they also have better mental health than their less happier peers. We also have, as happy people, better relationships. In one study, the researchers found that top 10% of the happiest college students had high quality relationships. They were less jealous and had stronger contact and connection with their family members and friends. And then happier people are more successful too. Mind you, success doesn't make us happy, but being happy makes us successful. So happiness can make you more productive, more satisfied with your job, and make better and faster decisions. Happier people are also more resilient. That's because we can face our fears head on and keep a positive mindset in the face of these challenges or adversity. And we can also look for meaning in traumatic experience. Happier people are also more generous and helpful. So the research says that spending time helping others has an advantage emotionally for the person who is practicing generosity. So there's greater life satisfaction, more positive affect, and reduced depression. And Lindsay and Creswell said that by bringing greater awareness to present moment sensory experiences, body sensations, mental images and dialogue, sounds in the environment, attention monitoring has been theorized to intensify both positive and negative affective experiences. Okay, so that means that whenever we bring mindfulness or awareness to what's happening to us in this present moment through feeling our body, the sensations in our body, and also connecting with the senses. Last week, we talked about the 6 senses, the eyes and sight, the ears with hearing, the nose with smell, the tongue with taste, the skin with touch, and then the mind with our thoughts. So when we're more aware with what's happening to us, within us in that present moment, it can either intensify positive affect or negative affect. And so that means that our best solution to becoming more happy is to look toward or to bring up and cultivate more positive emotions. So emotions, we often identify with them. We always say, I'm happy, or I'm upset, or I'm irritated, or I'm tired. But the thing is, we're not our emotions. Emotions are internal movements of energy that cause disruptions in our physiological state or our mental state. And we're, ideally, we're very neutral people, but then it's the outside external circumstances and situations and people that make us fluctuate from one emotion to the next. And emotions are emotion. So energy is E in motion, and it's always moving. So with always moving and it's always changing, how can we possibly attach ourselves to something that is so impermanent? So we're not our emotions. So when we cultivate positive emotions through mindfulness, we can increase our overall well-being. And some of the positive emotions that we can cultivate are equanimity, gratitude, appreciative joy, generosity, loving kindness, and compassion. So we can cultivate this long-term happiness by sowing these seeds. We're planting these seeds of positive emotions. We are not doing any kind of magic, because these types of positive emotions are intrinsically or natural within us. So what we're trying to do is to create more conditions for the happiness that we want to feel in our lives. And that brings more mindfulness, and that means there's effort and remembering, to be more aware and to direct our attention to something that is more beneficial for our long-term happiness. So some of the practices that we do to cultivate these positive emotions is loving kindness. So that's feelings of warmth or goodness or goodwill, which is a wish for happiness for oneself and for other people. What we do is when we're practicing these, cultivating these positive emotions, is we relax into the sensations and the feelings that come when we cultivate them. It might be this spaciousness in the heart, warm, maybe some tingling sensations, however they show up for you. And when we practice loving kindness meditation, we recite phrases. And so when we cultivate these positive emotions, there is an actual formal practice as we plant these seeds. So we recite phrases like, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be safe and protected. When we practice loving kindness, we do it with different people. And what we do is we begin with ourselves. We wish ourselves well. Now, more often than not, it's difficult to do that, to wish ourselves well. We think that we're being selfish when we do this. But there's no better person that needs to receive this kind of kindness than ourselves. So, how do we recite that? May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be safe and protected. You can also place your hand or both hands on your heart so you can really feel what's happening with me right now as I wish myself that. Now, if it's difficult to wish yourself well and give yourself some goodwill and kindness and love, you can visualize yourself as a baby or a child. And you can wish that baby or that child well. And then we move from ourselves to someone that's easy to love, maybe our partners or our children, our mothers, our fathers. And then the next would be somebody that's neutral, somebody that is in the sari-sari store who works there, that sells you the things that you need. The next step after that would be someone who's a little challenging for you, someone that's hard, a little, just a tiny, tiny hard to send well wishes to. And then after that, we send it all this kindness and this love to all beings. So it comes in different steps. And it's okay to just practice with one, maybe yourself first, which I did for a whole month at one point because I was dealing with a lot of anger. So I just kept wishing myself this being happy so that I can, tone down the anger. Because this practice is an antidote to that. It's an antidote to hatred and aversion. So another way that I practice this loving kindness meditation is when I'm in the car and driving and I get so irritated by other drivers or the traffic. So I recite these phrases to myself silently. Another practice that we can cultivate positive emotions with is compassion and self-compassion. We talked about this last week as well. And compassion is what arises when you're confronted or when you are witnessing somebody else's suffering. And there's this motivation to relieve that suffering. So compassion is not the same as empathy. Some empathy is like being able to put yourself in another person's shoes. It's feeling that, empathizing with that person as if it were your own suffering. And compassion is also not pity. Pity is actually looking down on someone else, someone that doesn't have the same, blessings as you do. So practicing compassion is that motivation to relieve that person of that suffering. There's another step after empathy. It's to want to help. And the way that we can practice this formally is to, again, recite these phrases while we are meditating formally, to say, these phrases in silence. May you be held in compassion. May your pain and sorrow be eased. May your heart be at peace. So knowing that also that the suffering and the pain that others are feeling are very similar to the pain and the suffering that we feel, or vice versa, because sometimes we are also having some challenges in life, and knowing that we're not alone, that there are also others that might be feeling the same way. And it's that shared humanity that we can feel with each other. You can also practice self compassion and wish yourself well. So it's knowing that things are difficult and that it's okay to allow for that difficulty or the challenge to be there. And yet to wish for that to be eased. The next cultivation of positive emotions is to practice appreciative joy. So it's not just about being happy, it's also valuing and appreciating the good qualities that people have. So we are rejoicing in the success of other people. That is the practice of appreciative joy. And that's probably one of the hardest practices, because often when we notice that somebody is successful, we think, well, when's my turn? Sana all. Diba? Because we're thinking, well, wow, that's great that they have that, but is there enough for me? Is there enough success for me? If that person is successful, does that mean that there's no space for me in that success? So what we want to cultivate is that true appreciation for someone else's success, to celebrate that. So it's to appreciate also the qualities that got them there, to know, okay, well, this person is a hard worker. They show up on time. They show up fully whenever they say that they're going to be there, they're there, and whatever they say that they're going to do, that they do it. So those are some of the qualities that got them there. Well, that's so amazing. I'm so happy for them. So the ways that we can cultivate that is to bring someone to mind that you know is experiencing some success in their life, and to think, I'm so happy for you. May your success and good fortune continue. So wishing for them to have this continuous rain of blessings, and really feeling that as genuine. So celebrating someone else's success. And the opposite of this is jealousy and envy. So jealousy and envy can feel really difficult. It feels painful in our bodies. Another emotion that we would like to cultivate, or a quality or a value that we would like to cultivate, is equanimity. And what it is to be even keeled, to be balanced or unbiased. So it's having this attitude of non-attachment or non-judgment and not resisting. So what we do when we practice that is, it is what it is. Whatever is here in the moment, whether it be pleasant, unpleasant, or maybe it's boring and dull or neutral, it is what it is. And being with what's here, with mindfulness and openness and curiosity, and to be willing to be with what it is that's here right now. So these practices can be done in formal meditation, and also as we're living mindfully, awake throughout our lives. Just like appreciative joy when somebody is successful and they tell you, hey, it's my birthday, it's Meng's birthday. Wow, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I hope you're having a great day, Meng. And oh, it's Justin's birthday tomorrow. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. What are you gonna do? And how do we make sure that this is a great day for you? And this is the practice of generosity. True generosity requires non-attachment to outcome. And so we give freely without any conditions on how our gifts are used, or whether we receive something in return. So being able to give without expectation. And often in the Filipino culture, we have this thing about utang na loob, right? When somebody gives us something, then we think, gosh, I'm indebted to this person. They gave me this favor. How do I return that? Or we give something with the expectation that may utang na loob na siya sa akin. So then next time, well, I need a favor and you owe me for the one that I did for you the other day. So, come on, pay up. But generosity is not like that. It's just really giving fully with your heart. And, one of the things that I love, and I'm going to stop sharing because I want to see you. One of the things that I love about Filipinos is that no matter how little we have, we're still so generous that we want to give. And I experienced that because where I live in Calamba, there's a squatter area behind me, probably more than 200 families now. And I've cultivated a relationship with some of them. And then, it doesn't matter where you're at. When you walk past someone, maybe who lives in the street, but they're eating something, and it might be their last meal or their only meal. They don't know if they'll have money enough to buy food for dinner or for tomorrow. And what is our culture? What do we do? Kain. Right? We offer. Kain. Kain tayo. So that is that quality of the Filipinos, of this generosity of giving. And then we also want to make sure that we're not giving from an empty cup. We want to be able to fill ourselves, to fill our own cups. And often we think that that's so selfish. I shouldn't care about myself. I have to take care of everybody else, and I will do me last. I will give to myself last. And there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes we just keep on giving and giving and giving, and then there's not enough left for us to be able to give fully with our hearts. There's no attention to the children because there's too much time that we put toward our work and our careers. So there's this imbalance that goes on. When we give too much, there's not enough time to take care of ourselves, and we can become unhealthy and we get sick and tired and burnt out. So it's really, really important that we balance that out. We give fully, and part of being generous is being honest with what's going on with you, and also being able to say no when you mean no. That's a part of generosity. That's honesty. That's generosity, being honest and authentic. And when you're unable to deliver or to give, you say so. You tell them, I'm sorry, I think I'm a little bit too overbooked. I really want to be able to do this, but I just can't do this at this time. That's giving to yourself, and that's also giving to the other person because you're being very honest. Because what we do is we overcommit and then we don't show up. Has anyone here ever done that? You say you're going to go somewhere, and then you're like, last minute, maybe even 2 hours later, you're like, oh, I can't make it today. I'm sorry. But you're there watching Netflix. Yeah. Anyone? Yeah. Me too. I was like that for a long time. Sometimes I feel that too. I I still feel that happening. Like, oh gosh, I committed to this thing and I don't really feel like doing it. But the practice now that I do is when I say it, something that I'm going to do, I do it. Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. So let's take a breath together. You can close your eyes. Take some deep breaths, however many breaths you need right now, and allow for these words to land in whatever way they do for you right now. And if you can, I invite you to bring a quality about yourself, something that you like about yourself. What is it? Just one thing. What is it that you like about yourself? And then bring to mind the people that you were in the breakout room with. Whether you've met them before, or it was your first time meeting them. Is there a quality about them that you appreciated? Just bring to mind, what is it about them that you appreciate? And then as you breathe, noticing these sensations in your body, the thoughts in your mind, any emotions that might be present. And as you think about how you appreciate yourself and other people, how does that feel? And then bringing to mind all beings everywhere in this world and beyond. You don't have to visualize or name all of them. Just open up your heart as you breathe in and bring space in your heart to hold all beings everywhere. And as you breathe out, allow for that space to remain open and you hold all beings that you know or might not even know because there are so many. Ones that you've seen or never seen, and wish them silently in your mind. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe and protected. Whenever you're ready, I invite you to take a deep, long breath all the way down to your feet if you can. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and come back again to our community space.